Hi, and welcome back to my little booktube channel. My name is Brindis, and today I want to talk to you about the books I am currently reading or have finished this past week. You will have noticed that I've changed the name of my channel, and it is now going to be going back to Brindis Reads a Lot, which is what the original name of this channel was. And I decided to do that because I had originally changed the name to Bryndís Daughter of Gunnar so that it would be the same as my Instagram, because I was having some ideas that I wanted to do like a bit of a bookstagram type of a thing, connect the two channels. But I don't want to do that. I've changed my mind. I'm not really using Instagram a lot, and I think, to be honest, I would like to just not use it. So there's no reason for these two outlets to be like the same. And I think I just prefer Bryndís Reads a Lot because that's what I do. So I've changed my name, the channel name. But anyway, so today is, well, I'm filming this actually on the Saturday, but I'm uploading it on Sunday, November 16th. And this week I've been reading 4 books. And the books that I'm currently still reading are, first of all, The Curiosity Shop by Charles Dickens. I'm not really that far into it, kind of been sidetracked this week, but I am loving it. Oh, I mean, so this year, I would say that this is this last year and a, I don't know when I started reading, I don't remember when I started my project of reading Charles Dickens in publication order. I think it may have been just this January. I did read A Christmas Carol for last Christmas, but this year I've been reading his books in publication order, like I said. And The Old Curiosity Shop is his 4th book or 4th novel. I mean, these were all published originally in a like serialized version, so they would be published every week, I think, or something like that, like a chapter, or I don't know exactly how they did it, but they have then been put together as novels. So it's the Pickwick Papers, Oliver Twist, Nicholas Nickleby, and now The Old Curiosity Shop. And I'm loving Charles Dickens. It is just delightful. And this book is specifically, so it's an audiobook, and it's being narrated by Juliet Stevenson. And Juliet Stevenson is like top-notch narrator of classics, at least. I've listened to several, a lot of classics that she's narrated. It's always been done superbly, at least to my taste, for sure. And it's a joy. It's a joy, and I'm really enjoying it so far. But like I said, I think maybe I'm about 1/4, even 1/5. So I'm quite short. I haven't been listening to it a lot, but so far so good. And like I said, I'm loving it. And it's just, I don't know, Charles Dickens. It's just like, so just the text itself, the story, the characters, everything, plus Juliet Stevenson. I just feel like when I sit down and I listen to it, I just feel like I feel like I'm a little child in bed being read to by her mother or something. It's just delightful and so peaceful and just wonderful. Oh my God, I'm loving it so much. But yeah, so I will be continuing to read that book for the next couple of weeks. And yeah, like I said, it's so good. It's fantastic. And then the other book that I'm currently also reading is Barton by Elizabeth Gaskell. I am now like this. What would this be like? So I am on page 110 of how many pages? There are like several appendices of 379. So yeah, more than a quarter into it. It's still very slow. It's still a lot. There's still a lot of like building up, like the background information about who these people are. But I really am enjoying it. It's a little. I mean, it's a slower read for me. I think both because I had other books to read, and also I think that I'm not necessarily in the mood to be reading a lot of like physical books. Like especially like this one. I mean, it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, but it's a little bit difficult to read because it is in the. Is it Yorkshire? No, it's not Yorkshire. Manchester. Like I don't remember the name of the dialect, but it's and you can see it in a lot of the writing. Like it's so yeah, I have to like think a little bit when I find it much easier to understand audiobooks that have these dialects rather than reading them. I'm finding so there are sometimes I'm like, what are they? I mean, there are notes here and everything, so it's fine. And I'm not trying to necessarily understand everything. It's fine if I don't, as long as I get the main things. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a fantastic book so far, and I'm just really looking forward to like the story really picking up. And people have been telling me that it does get better. Like the second half is much more kind of more fast paced and more things are happening. But yeah, it's just these people, I just feel so sorry for them. They are so poor and still just trying so hard to have like a proper life and do things and have, I'm so happy that I was not born a poor person in the 19th century. Like, anyway, Mary Barton, so far, so good. And then, so the other books that I finished, I think that when I talked to you last, I had like just a little bit left of the second book in the Thursday Murder Club, The Man That Died Twice. I finished it, I think the same day or the day after I talked to you, or maybe I did even finish it before. I can't remember, but anyway, I read or listened to that as an audiobook, The Man That Died Twice, and then I basically just went straight into The Bullet That Missed, which is the third book in the Thursday Murder Club. So I have now read the first 3 books in this series, and I'm really enjoying it. I will say that The Man That Died Twice, the second book, is my favorite of the 3. I really enjoyed that one. I think first book is also very good. I would say that The Bullet That Missed is my least favorite. It's still really good, and I mean these are cozy mysteries. These are not, I mean these are the type of books that it's just kind of nice to read. They're fun. I really like the characters. The characters are really fun. The humor in it is really fun. And the mysteries are really interesting and fun as well. So these are just really nice, cozy reads. And it's been wonderful having them as audiobooks when I've been going for walks or like in my car or whatever. And yeah, it's been just, yeah, these are really enjoyable and fun books. So I do think that eventually I would like to buy them as in the English, in like the original English. I have them in the translation, Icelandic translation, because I would like to have them like in my mystery books collection. I think I've already said. So these copies I got them from my sister, and I think I'm gonna get rid of them, which is fun because that, make more room for books that I want. So I don't know exactly when I will get around to buying them in the English version. I don't know. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But at least I have 2 more books out of my collection for my Read What You Own challenge. So that's fantastic. And I actually have the 3rd book here because that's the other book that I finished this week. And that is Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. So this was interesting. First of all, I think the coincidence is just ridiculous that I had just finished The Book of Guilt by Catherine Chichi last week. And I then took my TBR jars and I picked a new book that I wanted to read, a physical book I wanted to read from my collection. And this is the book that I drew from the TBR jar. Because these are very similar themes or like similar kind of plot theme type of books. Like special people. I don't want to say anymore. I'm sure a lot of you have probably read this book. It's like, I think it came out in 2005 or 1995. Let me see. It's not a new book for sure. 2005, yeah, that's what I thought. So, it's a 20-year-old book. And obviously Kazuo Ishiguro is a very famous author. I would love to read more by him. Definitely would love to read, what was it called again? Oh my God, it's really famous. The Remains of the Day. I remember I saw that movie like whenever that came out, probably. And I thought it was so boring. But I think that's probably because I was just too young or something. Because I think that today I would really enjoy a really heavy character-driven plot type of a movie. Obviously Emma Thompson and Anthony, what's his name? Anthony, no, what's his name? Anyway, so Kazuo Ishiguro, definitely a good start for me. This book is 288 pages and I read it in 2 sittings. I could not put this book down. Like this first sitting that I was reading it, I just put it down because I was like holding my eyes open with like a toothpick or something because I was so tired, sleepy, needed to go to bed, but I could not stop reading this book. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. I mean, I can probably see when I was rating it on Goodreads, I could see that there were some people that I follow, that I know from BookTube, that like gave it 1 star. I think one gave it 1 star, and a couple gave it like 3 or 4, and then there were a few that gave it 5 stars, like I did. And I'm assuming that's probably because maybe his writing style isn't for everybody. I don't know, but I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I was just like, I think that, I don't know if it was a good thing that I read it so like immediately after the Book of Guilt. Or, I mean, I don't know if it matters if it would have been a year later or something, because I can still remember that book, and I think I will remember that book forever. And because there are these kind of similarities with the characters, I kind of realized very quickly that there was something going on here. Something similar to that, although also different. But I don't necessarily think that, I mean, obviously it didn't spoil anything for me because I still really enjoyed it, and I still was very keen on figuring out exactly what was going on there. But this book, this world, this kind of plot, is brutal, like. But these are books that I think that this book and the Book of Guilt, I feel like these are books that should be taught in like upper secondary school or high school or whatever, and kids should be reading these books in like ethics class or something, to debating the ethics surrounding like what is acceptable to do to like who is a person, who has the right, who has human rights, and like these kind of really big, huge questions, and like, is it okay you know that test where they do like the train tracks. You know, the train is gonna hit like 5 people, but if you change the track, it would only hit 1. What should you do? That type of a ethical debate, dilemma type of thing, I think is really good and healthy for young people to grapple with. And these are the type of books that I think you should have your kids read, like your teenagers, because like what is acceptable in order to save someone's life? How far can you go? Basically. And yeah, I thought it was fantastic. I thought the writing was really lovely. Kind of, we were going back and forth a little bit. The characters I thought were really interesting. And I mean, there were a couple of things in there that I was just like, what? But it didn't ruin the book, or like it didn't feel rushed or like a bad, and like it wasn't necessarily a negative thing. It just made me think more about what was happening. And yeah, it's a really good book. So I'm very happy that I read it. And yeah, 5 stars, 100% recommend. Just know though that it is dealing with some really heavy stuff about like who has the right to live, basically, or the right to like happiness and free will, and I don't know. There are huge themes in this book that are just, yeah, it's so good. But yeah, so that's what I read this week, and now I can have these 3 books, check them off my physical TBR, which means that I now have 47 books to go before I can, for the next, until early November next year, for the Read What You Own challenge, and for me to reach my silver tier, which is my goal, 50 books of my physical TBR. 3 books in after a couple of weeks, that's pretty well done, I think. And yeah, I'm just gonna continue. I'm not gonna pick any books from my TBR jar because I think I wanna try to make progress with Mary Barton and just focus on that as a physical book, as well as I think the Old Curiosity Shop, and just kind of, just let those books, just enjoy those books. Let myself enjoy those books. Things are also starting to get a bit hectic again with less than 2 weeks until my PhD defense. And yeah, things are just starting to get a little bit more hectic. And I haven't had like any streaming services for months, so I got Netflix, and I've been watching really interesting shows there. I watched Adolescence, which I hadn't watched before, and oh my god, that is so good. I also watched all 3 seasons of The Diplomat with Kerry Russell. Really like that. I like her. I mean, I remember her in Felicity, which is a show from the early 2000s, I think. I loved that show. But also The Americans. If you haven't seen that show, you need to. It's fantastic. And I really like also The Diplomat. I thought it was a fun series. And I'm now currently watching Stranger Things, gearing up for the last season. So I'm spending a lot of time that I used to spend watching Netflix. And I'm just kind of allowing myself that kind of relaxation, that type of relaxation. And I'm also starting to feel the urge, the deep urge of starting to read The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. I think that more or less since the first movie came out in 2001 or 2. When did it come out? There has not been, I don't think there's been a Christmas for 25 years almost that I have not either watched one or more of the Lord of the Rings movies or the Hobbit movies, or read one or more of the books. Lord of the Rings, like Middle Earth, is just Christmas to me. So I'm starting to feel the urge, and I'm thinking that I'm probably gonna listen to Lord of the Rings for December. And I'm also planning on reading this book, A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. So I don't want to be like, I want to try to get as far into Mary Barton and the Old Curiosity Shop as I can before December starts. So I'm not going to pick any books at the moment from my TBR jars. And this book is definitely in my Read What You Own challenge, but obviously not Lord of the Rings because I've read them many times. But yeah, so that's what we have today. That's my update. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Have you read any of these books? I think that these are basically the same books that I've been talking about anyway for the last couple of weeks. So tell me what you're reading. I would love to know. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.